All right, let's get right into it. Today, we are diving deep into the very heart of how Ethereum actually works. We're talking about its engine of change, the process that makes this massive, decentralized world computer smarter, better, and more powerful over time. I mean, just stop and think about that for a second. It's a huge question, right? In a system that's specifically designed to not have a leader, how on earth do you make critical decisions? How do you roll out massive network-wide upgrades? Who actually gets to decide what the future of Ethereum looks like? Well, the answer is this really elegant, structured, and, radically open process. It's all thanks to something called Ethereum Improvement Proposals, or EIPs for short. This is the core mechanism that allows a totally global community of developers, researchers, and just regular users to collectively steer the ship. So here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with what this evolutionary engine is all about. Then we'll walk through the entire life cycle of an EIP. After that, we'll look at some absolutely landmark EIPs that have shaped the world we live in today. And then we're going to peek into the future with a wild concept called soul-bound tokens. And finally, ask what it all means for building a decentralized society. I absolutely love this analogy. If you think of the entire Ethereum network as this sprawling, constantly growing digital city, then EIPs are the official blueprints. They're the detailed plans for every new bridge, every skyscraper, every single piece of new infrastructure that gets built. So, what exactly is an EIP? At its core, it's just a formal document that proposes some kind of change. And here's the really cool part. Literally anyone can write one. You, me, anyone. But, and this is a huge but, just having an idea is not enough. For that idea to become reality, it has to survive this intense gauntlet of peer review, community debate, and ultimately it has to be adopted and built by the teams that actually run the core Ethereum software. So that brings us to the next logical question, right? How does a little spark of an idea actually transform into a core, fundamental part of the Ethereum network? Well, let's break down the EIP lifecycle because it's a very specific, multi-stage journey. And this lays out the path perfectly. See, it all starts with just an idea. People talk about it on forums, on Discord. If it seems like it has legs, the author formalizes it into a draft. Then it gets submitted to the official EIP editors, and the real scrutiny begins. We're talking intense review from the entire community before it even has a chance of becoming a final standard that upgrades the whole network. Now, for all of you who want to go down the rabbit hole, and I know you're out there, this is the link you need to bookmark. eips.ethereum.org. This is the master list. It's the single source of truth for every single proposal, past, present, and future. It is all out in the open for you to see. Okay, so we've covered the how. Now for the really fun part, the what. Because these are not just boring technical documents, right? Some of these EIPs have literally created billion-dollar industries. We'll look at the classics, but also think about recent game changers like EIP 4844, the proto-Dink sharding update from 2024, which is slashing costs for Layer 2s as we speak. Let's start with an absolute giant, EIP 721. You probably know it better as the NFT standard. Before this EIP existed, there was just chaos. There was no common way to represent a unique digital thing on the blockchain. EIP 721 created the rulebook, the shared language that allows the entire multi-billion-dollar market for digital art, collectibles, you name it, to even exist. It's incredible. And would you look at this? The magic of that entire market really boils down to something as simple as this one line of code. This little function, owner of, is the secret sauce. It lets any app on Ethereum ask a simple question. Hey, who owns this specific token? And getting a provably true answer to that question, well, that's the whole ballgame. Okay, next up, another monster EIP. EIP 1559. And if you've ever tried to do anything on Ethereum during a crazy bull run, you have felt the pain this thing was designed to fix. Remember those insane, unpredictable gas fees where you were just guessing how much to pay? Yeah. This EIP completely overhauled that whole chaotic mess. So here's how it works now. Your transaction fee gets split into two parts. First, there's the base fee, which is set by the network itself. And here's the wild part. That fee gets burned. Poof, gone forever, which has massive implications for ETH's total supply. Then you have the priority fee, which is basically just an optional tip you give to the validator to get them to process your transaction a little faster. All right, so we've looked at the past and the present. Now let's gaze into the future. What if this EIP process could be used for something bigger than just tweaking the network's economics? What if it could help us build a real digital society? Well, that's exactly the idea behind this next concept. And this quote from the white paper just nails it. So much of Web3 today is about money, right? It's all about assets you can buy and sell and trade, but our actual lives are so much more than that. What about your relationships, your achievements, your reputation, the things that aren't for sale? That's the gap that soul-bound tokens, or SBTs, are meant to fill. So here's the simplest way to think about it. NFTs are about what you own. SBTs are about who you are. You can sell an NFT, like a piece of art. You can't sell your identity. You can't sell your college degree, right? That's the core difference. SBTs are non-transferable. They represent your commitments, your credentials, your affiliations. And once you grasp that, your mind just starts racing with the possibilities. Imagine recovering a lost wallet just by getting your trusted friends to vouch for you. No more terrifying seed phrases. Or think about DAOs, where your vote is based on your reputation, not just how much cash you have. It could completely change the game, shifting us from a world of proof of money to one of proof of reputation. Okay, let's just pull back for the big finish here. When you look at everything from fee markets to digital identity, you start to realize something pretty profound is going on here. This whole EIP process, on the surface, it looks like a bunch of developers arguing about code on GitHub. And well, it kind of is. But it's also so much more. It's like the constitutional convention for our digital future. It's a battleground of ideas where we are deciding in real time the rules for digital property, for money, and even what it means to have an identity online. And so that leaves all of us with this final, massive question. If these EIPs are the literal blueprints, the source code for our digital society, then what kind of society are we actually building? The amazing part is, this is all happening out in the open. You can go read the proposals, you can see the debates. This future is being written right now, and you can be a part of it.